Manufacturers of all varieties and of various sizes and complexity face problems with fragmented and/or limited visibility into shop floor operations. Teams don't know what's late until it's already a problem. Schedules change, but they don't always reach the floor fast enough. What do you do when you need to view the availability of a particular machine or labor resource? If you have a welder or a machine that's a bottleneck, how do you schedule jobs without chaos and frustration? Wouldn't it be great if the system was intelligent enough to do the scheduling for you? In this video, we'll be highlighting the Gantt view of our FactorySync production scheduler. To orient ourselves with the solution, notice that we're using native NetSuite. The FactorySync scheduler fits as a part of your NetSuite environment, so you never have to leave NetSuite to schedule or plan for production. Let's take a look at the top portion of the screen, the filters. We have 5 different categories of filters: status, work center, project, assembly item, and location. The status view shows the current status of a NetSuite work order. The work center allows you to filter operations at specific machines or production areas on your shop floor. The project filter allows you to narrow down specific projects or jobs you might want to focus on. Assembly items allows you to filter only specific finished goods that you're producing, and location allows you to show only certain locations where the work is being produced. These filters are customizable for your specific instance of NetSuite. So for example, if you don't utilize projects as a workflow or use case in your manufacturing operation, you can remove it in the settings. You can use the Control or Shift features on your keypad along with your mouse to multi-select in each filter, and then you can click Apply Filters in your view. You can always click Clear All if you want FactorySync to release the filters you set and show everything. With that context, let's dive into how the Gantt view of our FactorySync scheduler can help bring true line of sight into the availability and overall demand of all the machine and labor resources of your shop floor operation. FactorySync's Gantt chart has 3 different perspectives from which you can view: work orders, work centers, and resources. In the work orders view, the y-axis contains individual work orders that are planned for production. The points on the graph are operational steps in production of that work order. The x-axis shows time. We can change the timeline of the x-axis by toggling between month, day, and week views. In the month and week views, it's broken down by days. In the day view, it's broken into hours of operation. As we toggle between month, week, and day, the y-axis changes the work orders because it's only going to show work orders that correspond. So in a day view, I only show the 3 work orders for that particular day. From any view, I can choose to release individual work orders into production from the planned state. The release stage means the work order is ready to begin production. Let's change the timeline for the week. Notice at the top of the graph, you can see 3 buttons you can toggle on and off: dependencies, due date risk, and slack float. Dependencies show operations that rely on one another for completion. Due date risk shows work orders that are at risk of missing the due date. And slack float shows gaps in time between 2 operations. We can see this visualization in action on work order 1050 between June 9th and 11th, where we have a 2-day gap between the fabrication stage and the hydraulic stage of production in this work order. We can also see the dependencies toggle in use here, since there's a dependency between these 2 steps in production as well. Also, we notice the red triangles on the left corner of each operation, signifying that it's at risk of missing the due date. Let's turn the 3 toggles off for now. Moving on to the work centers view, we can see the y-axis now contains work centers on the shop floor, and the points on the graph are work orders. Notice the colored bars at the bottom of each date of the work centers. On June 11th, we can see the fabrication shop is at 100% capacity. If I change the timeline to the month and scroll down to the fabrication shop, I can see that we're at 100% capacity almost every single day. But we have time available on Monday the 29th and Tuesday the 30th. For some reason, someone scheduled work orders to begin on July 1st and 2nd, but they don't need to be, so let's move them closer. We can easily drag and drop operations in the work order from one day to another. I'll drag these 4 work orders back to Monday and Tuesday. The next view on the scheduler is the resources view. This view shows the availability of individual contributors of your shop floor. Let's look at Catherine Glass's availability the week of the 15th. Clearly, she is over capacity. Day by day, she is slammed. She is likely going to need some help or work overtime to get the jobs done that week. Let's look at a realistic scenario. Catherine Glass is going to be out last minute, Thursday the 11th and Friday the 12th. How on earth do we clear her schedule out for that day while not throwing the rest of the month completely off? After all, other people rely on her work to do their job, like Eddie in hydraulics, Adam in assembly, and Alex in paint. We have a tool for this. It's called bulk move. Let's go ahead and switch to month view. We want to move every single work order except for 1050 at the top, which is already in process. So I will click select all at the top, then unselect 1050. Now, let's go up to this date range and select the date she will be back on the floor, which is Monday the 15th. Then we'll click schedule to capacity. The system will check dependencies, materials, dates jobs were promised to be done, and intelligently reschedule everyone's tasks on the floor. Voila! Everything has been rescheduled. The final piece is the planner simulator for analysis. Let's suppose I want to tinker around with scheduling pieces, but I don't actually want to affect real production. With this tool, I click Planner, name the scenario, and run the simulation. I can change whatever I want to get a visual for how it will affect the other parts of the schedule. And when I'm done, I can apply the changes I've made or simply discard them. FactorySync allows shop floor managers, VPs of operations, or any executives who require the visibility to understand what's going on at any given time on their shop floor, all tied in unison with other key aspects of the business like finance, procurement, inventory operations, and shipping.